Dobre Utra. I think I'm going to work on this piece of Horse Creek chert. I tried to put it in the turkey roaster. First time I've ever cooked any of this up in turkey roaster, and I think I got it up to like 275 and it didn't do anything. And I'm like, I'm just going to chip it raw. Made this preform and this preform. I'll work this other one down, then I'll probably finish all three. Since it's kind of tough, I'll go ahead and shaft punch to finish these. And I pulled this out of the frame. I'm going to start hacking stuff on this channel. I don't know why I was so, felt so stupid about promoting my work. Not stupid, but I felt like I shouldn't promote my work on this channel, and that's dumb because, I mean, obviously, I've been on YouTube 10 years and I haven't tried to really hack much stuff, so. This is still on nappers. I listed it, this is the one from the large square edge removal blade. I did some buffalo and some whitetail pressure to finish the edges. I have a little bit more pressure in this area than I wanted, but it was flat enough there to do these blenders. As soft as it was, those were going to step, so I opted to just do a little bit more pressure than I normally do to finish these. But anyhow, that's listed at $145, I think. Heck of a bargain for a piece like that. I wish that there were more guys were napping with antler and selling stuff so that there'd be a comparison, way to set prices, because if I had a lot of glass, I could chip big blades and afford to sell them really cheap. And something like that, there's not very many people making them, and it's a good value. So I'm gonna raise the price on that sometime later today or in the next few days to probably $200 if it's gonna sit there a while. So if you like it, you should buy it. And maybe let's just hit on this Horse Creek a little bit. I've got a big vise that I've got the selfie stick, and I'm going to sort of reach around it. Oh, here's a quick hammerstone adze that I made the other day. If somebody, the bit, it could maybe use just a little bit of touch up on the bit, but you can do that. If somebody wants to buy this thing and haft it, I'll send it to you for shipping. $7. But you gotta make a handle for it and use it. I wish I could make and sell more tools. Unfortunately, I'm a working napper right now, so I can't just sit down and make stuff that I want to make. I mean, most of the time I can, but as far as the tools, the raw tools like that, they don't sell very good. Really, that stuff that's easier to make is what sells good, like big, humongous dovetails out of cooked rock. But anyhow, this is pretty dry Horse Creek, so I don't know if I can swing around this selfie stick. Oh, I'll throw that in the flake box. Maybe somebody can. Also, I saw my scrappy $1-a-pound rocks. So I throw stuff like that in there. People can buy it, and that way they can get a variety of materials if they don't have a lot of money. Stuff that I'm not going to work, I go ahead and it's feeling like fall a little bit out there now. It's about time. It's been kind of a muggy. Okay, so I took... It's always a help when you can start. A lot of people that percussion, whether they're using an antler baton or a copper bopper, they look at making a biface, and then they don't take advantage of those big flattening flakes. You really want to take some time to make sure that you can, maybe not on a huge piece, or don't do something crazy to break it. Work within your comfort zone, but really, take some time to set up those big, early spalling flakes to thin it down. That way you can keep some width on your piece, and you've got edges to build contours and get your edges organized early. Now, these generally do better if you can keep some. This is an example of modern nappers chipping for the market rather than doing what they're going to do. I'll probably make an early archaic piece out of this and keep some of the softer cortex on the tip. They wouldn't have done that because this is not good tool material. They would have, they wouldn't even probably selected this rock. It's not a very good quality. But if they did, they'd probably chip that cortex off the tip or just leave very little of it. The only example of point types that have cortex on the tip that knappers make a lot are those big turkey tails, and those are status and burial offerings mostly. So when they were big and had, you know, cortical remnants on the tip, it wasn't, you know, those weren't a lot of times used. So I'm just going to go along here. So I got a little square edge left. So I'll just do a little brush and take those little flakes. Now, since I've got this little area there, maybe just do a little. There. So cut down a little bit and then come back and all the little work, just so I can keep length on the bottom here. Now, I'm going to raise that up a little bit. I'm going to start here. See, I'm not trapping these flakes, because if I hit it here and I'm pinching, and I hit in too much, that flake might want to go through, so I'll build the ridge and move over. And then just do it kind of gradual. I'll just get a small little one right there. Did a little step, it ran into some. That's not good to have that hole in there. And the fracture line goes to here, so let's go ahead and clean that from this side. When you have a flake that you're not sure how it terminated in the middle and you've been working from the base, clean it and get a look at it so that you don't have a fracture that's starting to dive down a little bit and you whomping around on the ends, and then it'll sometimes encourage that preform to break there. So we'll turn these edges down and then we'll clean that way. See, that was a nice little front napping tip for this video. I'm going to start up here and then we'll work down to it. And then this is probably about, what, 6 minutes, so we'll turn, after we get that cleaned up, we'll just turn it off. This purpley area is kind of really tough. See, there's the termination of our flake, and it did, see? It was gonna kind of go a little wonky, so that's good that we cleaned that up. And if that basal flake, I had taken this one first rather than those others and didn't have that ridge, that flake would have done that. It would have dove, so. Maybe we'll just. Another thing is for these drier materials, like if I made a lost lake out of this, it's on this grade, it's a lot easier to finish and get it flat and thin it down than it is to keep a nice smooth lenticular body. There's, you know, it's an example of a point type where it's easier to make it wrong and have it be more collectible than it is to make it right and have it So making decisions about the replica rather than for guys that are, you know, good enough at napping where they're starting to move and sell stuff, it's, you know, you guys know, and sometimes you just kind of chip yourself into the art, and sometimes it's hard to regroup because, you know, when the market rewards you for doing the wrong thing, kind of deal. You know, sort of something to keep in mind as a napper. Just try to chip for yourself, and unless you have to make money doing it, I'd encourage you, especially if you're learning abo, to try to look at the old stuff and pay more attention to maybe what you think that you should do, and keep yourself honest about that, rather than, you know, just totally violating all that, you know, do as I say, not as I do kind of thing. But being aware of that early in my napping and not liking a lot of the stuff I make has enabled me to kind of get better at a lot of different things, to eventually like my work more and try to stay truer to the replicas when I'm trying to do my best at it. But I don't think a lot of people that collect modern arrowheads, unless they're unknowingly doing so in the what's left of the relic market, appreciate that. And so if you do and other people don't, you know, just keep going and, you know, keep your head up and, you know, enjoy doing it for yourself, and hopefully share with other people if you figure some stuff out. So we've got it edged, and it's got a little lenticular on this side. This cortex is soft. Maybe, I think all that's going to disappear, that color there, but I'll have to maybe lose a little bit of length so we can see what that crystal does, and that might affect what kind of point type I make. But let me guess how long this takes. 923? 12, see?